Hello, this is Pam. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I want to share this card with you that focuses on using one stamp set. This is called White Christmas and is in the current holiday catalog, and this is the set here. It is so cute. I love this stamp set. It has all these little images there, and for Christmas, obviously, you can use a tree. And it does have Christmas sentiments in there, but I think that this set is perfect for winter time. It is, like I said, in the Occasions catalog right now. Item number is 135767, and it's called White Christmas. It's a photopolymer set. And I just received the new Occasions catalog that is going to be live January 6th. And this stamp set is not going to be available after January 5th. So I wanted to do a project to focus on using this stamp set, not for Christmas, but for winter cards and gifts. So that's why I wanted to share this one with you today. So if you like the stamp set, order it before January 5th, because after that it will not be available. So here is the first card that I made using this set. I've already mailed out a few Christmas cards that I've made also. But this is so cute. And this sentiment down here does not come in the set, but like I said, it's perfect for winter. To make the sentiment, I actually used the rotary stamp. This is available out of the main catalog, and it has all of these. This is the top there. It has all of these rollers that you can spell out any word that you want. So on mine I did Winter Wishes, and it fits perfectly on the top there, even with the space in between. So I'm going to use this stamp to make my sentiment with. And the handle has a flat part there and then the round part. So when you stamp, the flat part goes towards you. That way your sentiment doesn't get stamped upside down. So the card that I'm going to show today is pretty much just like this, but I'm going to turn my cardstock this way. This is the Whisper White, so the card orientation will be this way, because I want to show you what else you can do with this tree stamp to make it longer, instead of just making it this one image right there. So this piece measures 3 5/8 by 4, no, I can't remember, 4 7/8 long. And I wanted it a little shorter so I could have a border around to show the pattern paper. This is the clearance rack special DSP stack. It is called, there it is. Whoops, that's not it. That's the Moonlight. Here it is. It's the Fresh Prints. It's in the clearance rack. You can get this for like $2.75. I love these colors. The Coastal Cabana, the Real Red, and the, what is that, Crumb Cake or Soft Suede you can use. I love that color combo. So I absolutely love this paper. So that's what I've used on the back. Alright, let's get started with the card. So I've used the baked brown sugar for my trees there. So I'm going to ink that up, and my stamp pad does actually need re-inking. So if your stamp pad is fresh filled with ink, you won't need to stamp it as much as I am right at the moment, but it works. Alright, so I use the grid paper a lot. You can buy a whole stack of this grid paper in the main catalog, but I line up my cardstock with the lines here on the grid paper. That way I can get it a little straight. Even though this is a photopolymer set, I still like to have my paper squared. So what I'm going to do to extend this image, this is the tree image, it's all one piece. I'm going to stamp it over here on the side. and get it where I want. I'm going to go off just a tad off of the cardstock. And like I said, my ink is, my stamp pad needs re-inked a little bit, so that's why I'm holding it down a little bit longer on my paper. So that's the image that it makes right there. And I am going to actually extend it on out a little farther. So I'm going to re-ink my stamp again. Try to keep my fingers out of it. And I don't need the whole image, so I'm mainly going to ink this part and then a little bit of that piece right there I'm going to ink. So to get it to go on, all you need to do is line up this part of the stamp there with where it ended there. And since it's photopolymer, it's very easy to do. And line that up just about to where you can see it touching. Need two hands here. And stamp. And that just makes your stamp fill in a piece that is long. So you can get more out of this tree stamp. I like that idea. Okay. So to get the little shadowing below the trees there, you can use your blender pen with the Whisper White or the Very Vanilla ink. Let me fix my camera for you. But you have to use it very lightly and not keep coloring over it, because otherwise your paper will start to what they call pill. It'll just like start to peel because it's too wet. But you can absolutely still use it with the Whisper White. You just have to be very light with it. So I have used the Coastal Cabana ink pad and then the blender pen. And I'm going to show how you can get that colored in on the Whisper White. So you can take your pad and smash it down into your lid if you want. I just actually take my blender pen, you can see that a little bit more, into the ink and then just swirl it around. I don't want it real dark because Coastal Cabana is pretty dark ink. So I kind of blend it out a little bit, and then just take your blender tool and kind of go in a light motion and just go in like circles very lightly around. Like I said, it doesn't take much because you don't want your paper to start to pill. Because these blender pens are filled with like a blending solution. And they are kind of wet. That's why they recommend you using it on like watercolor paper, because it accepts the water a little bit more. Well, since I'm doing this on camera, I of course can't get it to look as nice as that one, because I'm trying to hurry. But just go in a circular motion a little bit like that. This gives you, see, that's starting to pill already. Once that dries, I can peel that off, or I'll hide it with a sequin or something. But you can use that. You have to be very sparingly with it, because it will start to totally pill your paper. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sentiment on there. And again, I'm going to line up my cardstock on my grid paper there to get it squared. And then this is my, it says Winter Wishes there. And if you haven't used one of these rotary stamps, I had one a long time ago from it was a different company. I used to use it all the time, and I have no idea what I ever did with it. But when you ink up your words, I just stuck my hand down into the ink pad. I always do that. Make sure that you don't get a whole lot of extra ink like around your letters, because if you're kind of heavy-handed, you're going to see, like down here, you're going to get ink on it. I got a little bit onto the center part, which I think that'll probably be alright, as long as I don't smush it down in there. But that's my sentiment inked up there. I'm going to get the ink a little wet again, and I'm going to line up my paper. And the last rotary stamp I had, when I stamped my sentiment, as you can see I have the most shakiest hands, stamp down, I'm going to try to get it straight. Oh, that's kind of off. Stamp down straight, and then I rock it back and forth just a little bit, because sometimes those letters don't exactly get stamped. See, I missed a little bit of the S. But if you stamp down and then roll it back and forth, maybe I should have rolled it a little bit more that way, like that, you'll get your letters perfect. Because on the inside of this, you can kind of see it right there, there's like a little bar that runs all the way across, and that's the pressure that it gives when you stamp. So you have to make sure that your letters are kind of in the center of that, otherwise it's not stamping on anything. Maybe that's why my S didn't quite get all the way in, but that's cute, that's good enough. But this is nice because if you don't have a whole bunch of little sentiment sets, you can totally use that rotary stamp to get your sentiment, whatever it is that you want. Alright, so on to the next. Let's get rid of some of these. Excuse me, ink pads. For this card, I actually stamped the little bird and the polar bear, and I fussy cut them out. Now, I think I probably should do the polar bear, because if I stamp him on here now, he's going to be over top. I was going to stamp it right onto the paper. For those who don't like to fussy cut, you can absolutely do that. There's a little polar bear there. But I think if I stamp him onto the paper, I'm going to have to come over here. And then he's looking up into, like, absolutely nowhere. So I think I'll go ahead and put him there, but I'm going to stamp him out on a piece of scrap white. And I stamped him in, is that white? Yeah. Basic gray. You could probably use smoky slate also. But I like to fussy cut. I really don't mind. Adjust my camera again. If you could only see the rig job that I have on my tripod, you all would probably laugh. But I cannot find in the store anywhere an extension pole for my tripod. None of my local stores around here have an extension pole. So I have rigged up with electrical tape and a wooden dowel rod and an extension pole, because my tripod is like over there and my camera doesn't come out all the way over here, so it tends to fall and I have to fix it. But it works for me just fine. Alright, now I'm going to try to fussy cut this out a little hastily. I'm trying to get my videos down a little bit shorter in length. I posted on my blog that I must be a slow crafter, because my videos, even though the projects don't take that very long to make, they seem to run for like 20 minutes. So, I do have my watch on today. I think I've already ran over my 10-minute mark. So, oh well, I hope you'll stick with me for the whole part. You could probably fast forward through here. I don't have a program on my computer where I can fast forward through parts. I know a lot of people do that. They fast forward right through that, because you obviously all don't need to watch me fussy cut, but it doesn't take that long. I like fussy cutting. Some people don't like it. They'd rather have a die that they can just cut their image out with, which, I mean, that's fine, but I like to fussy cut. See, he doesn't take that long to cut out. Now, the bird I will stamp on there. I'm going to stamp him on there, and I'm going to color him in. So there's our little polar bear. And I did attach him with glue dots. I can go ahead and do that. The glue dots give just a little bit of dimension. Not much, just a tad bit, to lift him up off the paper just a little bit, so he's not totally flat. I think that's cute. I like the glue dots. So he's there, and he's going to be looking up at the little bird. But I think now I can go ahead and stamp the bird. He is very tiny. This stamp set has 2 birds. One looking one direction and one looking the other direction. And that's the stamp. He's very tiny. So, stick him on there. Like I said, this other one here I stamped, and I actually fussy cut that little tiny bird out. Did pretty good. But, like I said, for those who don't want to, I wanted to share that you can just stamp right on there. I'm using the black Memento ink because I'm going to be coloring him in. So there's a little tinky bird. He's so cute. And he is going to be perched up here on this branch. So, trying to, my hands shake too bad. It's a wonder I can stamp anything straight with the shakiness that I have, but I got that from my dad. Alright, now the bird coloring, you can use the Blendabilities markers, absolutely. But again, I'm going to show you the blender pen. Works just fine with the ink. You just have to be light-handed, not press down too much. Alright, so take your blender pen again, dip it right into the ink pad. Now this time I'm actually going to take it right off onto the paper, because I don't want a whole lot of ink on there. See how much is on there? Instead of putting it on there, I'm going to actually dry off my ink a little bit more. So dip it in there and dry it off. That's actually what I did on this card. I didn't use the stamp pad. I actually dried it off a little bit more. That totally will help keep your paper from pilling. And see, it colored him in just fine. No pilling. And then when you get the ink on your pen there, all you need to do is just keep wiping it around until it comes out clear. Obviously the red is very dark. Go here. See, all clear. And even though it stains it, you're totally ready to use it again. It will not get any color, other color onto your blender pen, even though it looks like there's color on it. There's really not. So, see, that's totally easy to color in. It hides the stamp tree there. And that works perfect. Alright, so next we stamped the little snow falling there. So let me grab that stamp, and for that one I've used the Soft Sky ink because I didn't want it quite as dark as the Coastal Cabana. So that's the little stamp there. They're kind of like open circles for the snow. So I just kind of randomly stamped that, and I turned it because I don't want my snowflakes all going the same direction. So stamp, turn, and just randomly stamp however many you want. Keep going around and around. Take it off the page a little bit. That looks pretty good. A couple more over there. So that makes the snow. That's that little tiny, and if you don't want any snow, well, you don't have to. Alright, so I think all the stamping is done for that. And to give it just a little bit more interest, I did add some of the sequins to that. Those are from the 2013-2015 sequin assortment. It's the Coastal Cabana in there. And those are attached with glue dots. I've got a couple extra ones there because I tend to fling them onto the floor and I lose them. So I got a couple extra. I'm still going to use 3. So they will fit on to the glue dot there just perfectly. They're the exact size for those sequins. If I can get it on. Alright. So we shall put one, let's say, there. Now I do also attach the sequins with liquid glue. The liquid glue works perfect. All you need to do is take your liquid glue and just put one little dot onto your paper, and then put your sequin on there, and I take my nail and I just hold it down for like 15 seconds. And then you have to, let it dry just a little bit before you try moving it or putting your card in an envelope or something. But that works perfect too, the liquid glue. Because the glue dot, sometimes if you get it around the edge there, you can kind of hear that sticking to my finger. When you go to put that in an envelope and you mail that off, that glue dot may stick to the inside of the envelope, so when someone pulls that card out of there, it may rip the sequin right off. But I haven't had that happen yet. Alright, so I think I'll put another one like right over there. But the glue dots work just fine. Like I said, they're just about the perfect size to fit right on the glue dot. Alright, so that's the finished card there. And this base is Coastal Cabana. It's an A2 size. And for the Designer Series paper, that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I just cut that down to size and I just glued that on. And then I took dimensionals. You can see that one. I took dimensionals and put it onto the back, and then I just put it right on top. So if I was to make another one going sideways, that's what it would look like, just like that. I think it's cute. Like I said, this stamp set is perfect for winter. I will be using it for my winter cards because I think it's adorable. I love those cute images on there. Could use the deer. Look at the snowman. He is so cute. Looking up into the trees as well. You could make it night. You could put the star stamp on there. So I wanted to share this card with you. Like I said, the stamp set is only going to be available until January 5th. So if you would like to get this stamp set, you can visit my Stampin' Up site. There's a link on my blog, wearestampers.blogspot.com. And you can check out more projects that I have posted on there as well. So that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.